So what I see with those customers, and also a lot of advice that we give, is really invest also in the interior of your center. I
Hmm.
think that's, for me, that's very important because, to be fair, the bowling lane itself will always look the same. Yeah, you can
Hmm.
choose on color and you can choose which color capping and gutter and bumper
Hmm.
you're going to use. But overall, every bowling lane looks the same. There's not a lot of difference. So what makes some places really aesthetic is not the bowling lane, it's the lighting, it's the interior, it's the seating unit. And all those things doesn't not it's not provided by the manufacturer.
Right.
So all the design awards and bowling centers looking really fancy, it's not the bowling company that makes them fancy, it's an interior designer who
Hmm.
thinks about the general concept of the center
Yeah.
and how to make everything fit together. And I think nowadays that's almost the most important factor. If you're already, on string and you already optimized your business, I think that's a really good investment to do, because it's going to pay off, especially for the future. Because I think if you made your play Instagrammable, you have
Right.
free marketing from the young generation that comes in there, that does not only enjoy the bowling, but also the social aspect for it
Hmm.
and the aesthetic of the center. And if
Right.
they feel they're in a very aesthetic center, they automatically, and they also want to communicate this feeling or this extravagant lifestyle through their social media, and they start taking picture, they start tagging your center and basically generating free marketing for you, which is, I think the impact is huge, and it's very much underestimated by most center owners. And to achieve that, I think the most important thing is, I think with a great lighting solution and ambient lighting, indirect light, you can already achieve a lot for very little. And what goes along with that is obviously furniture and things like that. But I think lighting is the most return on invest that you're going to get for improving your interior.
Yeah, I totally agree. You can see in the background, I have some ambient lighting. It goes a long way and
Yeah,
it's not
sure.
expensive. But yeah, and I really agree, because someone who's 30 years old, when I'm looking at like a restaurant or place we're going to go out for the eat like a Friday night, ambiance is just as important to me as the food. The same with the bowling, the activity. The ambiance is really critical for the spot that I'm going to go. If I'm going to
Yeah.
go out and spend money, I want to be
And
in a cool
sound.
setting.
Sound is
Hmm.
so important. If,
Hmm.
like, those restaurants that are just seem really loud, but those places you just don't want to spend a lot of time in there because it's loud, it's distracting, and that's usually not something that you realize right away, but subconsciously you do not feel, yeah, very home in these places. And I think the same goes for bowling centers. Some bowling centers are really loud. You're
Yeah.
really loud places. You can hear all the conversation going on, all the laughing, all the yelling, the music's too loud, the machine in the back is too loud. And I think to invest in someone who looks at the general sound physics in your center, a lot of the measures that you can do are really inexpensive. Sometimes they even look good when you have the sound dampening.
The
There's
panels.
so many products. The panels, you just put
Hmm.
them on the side of you. They even look good,
They do. Yeah.
and they make such a big difference. I think you should definitely pay attention to hear the sound of the pins. So like when you score a strike for a bowler, this sound is so memorable. So
Hmm.
I think it's really important that you hear this. But I think to make it to have the best experience, it should just be very quiet and not the music not so loud.
Right. Yeah, I'd be able to hold a conversation pretty easily instead of
Yes.
the taking turns shouting in someone's ear, like at a
Yeah.
nightclub,
Yeah.